When you hear the word Quidditch, do you think of flying in the air on magical brooms, or this? Quidditch is an actual sport originating from J.K. Rowling's book series Harry Potter. The game was brought to life officially in 2007 when the United States Quidditch Association was formed. The sport has eventually made its way to the UK when the first British Quidditch Cup debuted in 2013. Now, what are the rules of the sport? There is a team of 7, which includes 3 chasers, 2 beaters, 1 keeper and 1 seeker. There is also a quaffle from the film, but as a volleyball, and there are 3 bludgers, which take form in 3 dodgeballs. These 2 different type of balls have different uses and roles in the game. All players must have a stick, otherwise known as the broomstick, in between their legs at all times when playing. The quaffle carriers can be stopped by being rugby tackled to the floor to stop the other team from scoring points. The quaffle carriers, otherwise known as the chasers, will be the main point scorers on the team and battle for possession over the quaffle. You receive 10 points for throwing the ball through either one of the opposition's 3 hoops. The beaters are the ones who handle the bludgers. Their job is to knock out opposing players by throwing a bludger at them. If an opposing player is hit by a bludger, they must drop any ball they are carrying and run back to touch their hoop to get back into the game. The keeper's main job is to protect their hoops from the quaffle. They are immune from being tackled as long as they stand in their own goal area. At the 18th minute of the game, seekers join into the match and their aim is to catch the snitch. The snitch is a neutral player to either team. They have a sock attached to the back of their shorts. The sock is worth 30 points and when caught, the game ends immediately. Here's more from a Quidditch training session. I'm here at the Southampton Common where the current holders of the UK University Quidditch Cup come to train twice a week. Southampton Quidditch Club has recently won the first ever University British Quidditch Cup. It's a part of 40 teams that compete in Ireland and the UK, and will be known as one of the most historical clubs in the near future. The champions are one of the oldest clubs in the UK and have a strong heritage in the latter stages of the British Quidditch Cup. The club have even gone on to compete on international stage in European Quidditch. The coach, Michael Orridge, was delighted to be a part of the title-winning team.
I've been playing for 7 years and it's the first time I've won a national title. It was a tough game. Literally went down to the golden goal, so next goal wins. Very stressful. We were pegged to win by most people in the community and it was nice to pull it out.
These are highlights from the British Quidditch Cup final where Southampton won the game in a nerve-wracking finish.
No, he's not. Called safe, driving it through. Number 17, driving it through again. That is a goal. Is that it?
That's it.
And
Southampton have done it. They've done it.
Yeah, it certainly looked that way to me.
I heard a very solid, like, thunk,
yeah.
Boing, yeah, or like thwack.
Oh no,
Oh,
good. It's called good.
Good.
SQC reached a set score of 130, Exeter 120.
Such a good game. Such a good game. This
First
has
university
been a fantastic.
champions.
This has been a fantastic university BQC final.
Even though this team are champions, they did not face community teams, whom are considered to have higher quality players in the sport. This is because the British Quidditch Cup has decided to split competition into community and university divisions. Orridge believes the separation will only benefit university teams for the future.
So before I moved to Quidditch, to a uni team, I was playing in community league because I've been there. There's just a step higher. There's a massive gap between the community and uni, and it's needed to keep the university players in, because the freshers that come to these games aren't going to continue if they go to a tournament and absolutely get demolished. It's not going to be fun for them, and it keeps the uni games competitive, which keeps recruitment up.
The players do need to be physically fit to compete against the best competition, especially against the community teams who usually have experienced players, whereas the university teams consist of students who do it as a side hobby and would have only heard of the sport since starting their education. Orridge explains why some people might need to be fitter in some positions than others in this sport.
It is extremely physically demanding. There is a difference between the positions. So with chasers, since it's a mixture of rugby and handball, you're going to have full people running into you, full contact, full sprint, where this year, at the start of the year, I dislocated my shoulder because some guy who was bigger than me ran in. Successfully tackled him, but my shoulder came out of place. And it's not just physical, there's also cardio which you need. With me, with our small squad we took to European Games, there was games where I wasn't subbing, and since it's a start-stop sport where you play 100% for about 5 seconds, then get like a 5-second break, being able to do that for like 25 minutes is very challenging, and it's why we have so many subs, non-stop rolling subs like basketball.
But naturally, not all the players can have the same physical build. Quidditch is one of the only sports that must have a combination of genders in-game. Teams are allowed a maximum of 4 players who identify as the same gender. This increases to 5 when the Seeker comes onto the pitch. This is to replicate the participation of women Quidditch players in Harry Potter. Also, Quidditch is an all-inclusive sport. The players can identify as any gender they are and still play the sport. However, with the inclusion of rugby-like tackles, this can be seen as dangerous to the welfare of naturally smaller females to bigger-built men who tackle them, or it can make some women players hesitate into making tackles themselves, which explains the advantages and disadvantages of including both genders in the sport.
I think there's pros and cons to it. Pros is I've met my girlfriend through this, you get to meet everyone, get to really it's like one of the only sports where I can play on the same field as her and go to a European and play it at a high level with people. There's also cons of she's really scared of tackling people and they're more likely to get injured. But I think the higher up you go in the sport, you've got more people who are more in tune and taught how not to get injured while still doing them. So at the low level, it's a bit risky because the lack of physical exercise and athletic background means they're more likely to be injured. But again, it's making sure that it is one of those sports where if a girl wants to go tackle a guy, they can.
As the sport increases in popularity, it means they will attract more and more muggles to the Quidditch club. The sport became available to those outside of America in 2010. Countries such as Australia, the UK, France, Italy, Spain, Belgium, the Netherlands, Mexico and more. There are constant changes to the sport as the game keeps growing throughout the world. New players are constantly coming in, and one of SQC's freshers, Emma Staines, explains what it was like to win a trophy in a sport she only read about growing up.
It was amazing. This is my first year here, and so we've been winning Southern, but there's no medals, no trophies for that. Well, there is a medal at the end of Southern. But yeah, it's just bigger than I thought, shinier than I thought.
How did you personally get into Quidditch?
I am a Harry Potter fan. I have been for years. And it was one of the things when I was even looking at universities, I was looking to see if they had a Quidditch team. And so then I came to Bunfight when I joined Southampton.
How far do you think Quidditch has come, especially as you're a Harry Potter fan? This must be amazing to see it as a sport developing in real life.
Yeah, see, I guess when I joined I didn't realise how separate it would be from Harry Potter. Even the games played differently, but I love the fact that it's grown into its own sport.
Quidditch can be a deciding factor for students picking their university. The SQC's president, Alexandria Freeman, tells us more about the growth of the sport and what the future holds for it.
So since 2013 it has come a long way. It used to be that it only existed in the US, and then it came over to the UK. You had very basic sort of everyone was just kind of wearing shirts with drawn on insignia. It was very bare bones. The game's definitely evolved since then. We've added a bunch of new rules, even in the most recent seasons. For instance, we had a rule change where it used to be you could tap in on any of the free hoops. Now you can only tap in on the middle in the UK. There's a lot of different evolutions that you see from season to season with each new rule book coming out. So it's been a massive change for the sport.
What do you see for the future of Quidditch? Do you think anything could be televised in the future or anything like that?
So from what I'm aware, the Americans are definitely working quite hard on trying to get Quidditch televised. I personally, when I was out for the BQC, I was watching it from home. We have live streams even now on YouTube. The main thing that's standing in the way of Quidditch becoming televised is the lawyers, because of the copyrights that Warner Bros has on the name Quidditch and all the things, which is why there's currently a name change in progress. I think that's going to be a double-edged sword in that case, though, because it means that we can televise it, but I think we will lose some interest just because everyone thinks of us as the Harry Potter sport. But I think that once we get the name change enacted and we can start actually bringing money into the sport, it could make it a lot bigger.
With J.K. Rowling previously tweeting transphobic comments, US Quidditch is rumoured to change the name of the sport to either Quickball, Quidstrike or Quadraball to rid of their affiliation with Harry Potter. These big changes to Quidditch could either benefit the sport or decrease its popularity and recruitment greatly. Only time will tell.